Hey guys, it's me, Boogeyman. I'm back, and today we'll be talking about the Advanced Basic Catalyst offer for $15. Just kidding. This isn't that good of a deal. What I did want to talk to you guys about, though, today was the Sinister Six team. So you guys seemed to enjoy that video I did yesterday about the Supernatural team. It seemed kind of helpful to some of you guys to sort of get a rundown of how that team works, especially if you're a new player, so you can see the synergy there. It's sometimes the teams are a little overwhelming when you just hear about the big team, so sometimes helps to have them broken down into individual characters and see what they all do. That's what I'm going to do today again with the Sinister Six team. Sinister Six team, they're very interesting. I'd say they're definitely a lower tier team in the game. They're not that great, although they do two things particularly well. First off, they're great for legendary events. If you're a new player, they're a great team to farm. One, so you got a villain team that's semi-competent. And then they're good for two legendary events, Shuri's, who requires Spider-Verse, and Invisible Woman's, which requires Sinister Six. So they're very helpful for that to farm up. As you can see, I'm working on farming them up myself right now. But the other thing they're good at is they're kind of a counter to defenders / shield. Mostly defenders, generally speaking defenders, but Green Goblin has a little bit of counter to shield, but we'll get there when we get there. So let's start out with Shocker. He is a blaster for the team, but honestly, I don't know, I've never found Shocker's damage all that great. Again, my Sinister Six isn't like max level when I'm talking about them. I'm just talking about my opinion of them whenever I do get to use them. I do have them at a pretty equivalent power level, so like when I'm fighting blitzes, and I'll be going against people that are the same power level, so I should have a accurate assessment of how good these characters are. Really, the only things of note with Shocker are right here. He gets some ability energy for himself, which is nice, but it's only for himself. But really, the big thing that is good about this right here is he applies offense up to Sinister Six allies. So that's kind of Shocker's. That's his big contribution to the team. His ultimate's not bad. He deals, you know, by the end of it, maybe at most 360% piercing to one enemy, you know, and he's just sort of he's an okay you know, villain on the Sinister Six team. Really, the best thing he does is provide offense up for the team. What is kind of nice right here, and as you're seeing, the defenders are city heroes, also the Spider-Man characters, so it doubles for Spider-Man characters, but Spider-Man characters aren't really a problem. Really, defenders are a problem you'd run into. And he gains 5% damage per city hero enemy. So, you know, that's a nice little passive right there. And if you're going against defenders, Shocker's damage is going to be just a little bit better. But again, I've never found his damage that incredible. I've never found his burst mind-blowing. You know, really the big thing Shocker does for me is apply offense up to the Sinister Six team, and then the rest of them put in the hard work. But next up we have Mysterio. I think he's considered the weakest link of the Sinister Six when they're played. You know, really not a ton of crazy stuff. He clears positive effects with the basic attack. That's nice. Always nice to see that. But his special and his ultimate are okay. He applies blind to a primary target, plus as you're seeing right here, there's a little bit more synergy, well, I guess counter synergy you'd call it, where he's doing more against city heroes, where he also will apply ability block if he's doing it against an enemy city hero. And then of course he also has Sinister Six. They can support him while he's doing this, and his ultimate applies heal block to the whole enemy team. So that's nice. The damage isn't too bad, but you know, he's just not that great. He's just sort of, he's a very mediocre character. You know, he can apply blind on one person, you know, a little bit, maybe an ability block if they're a certain kind of person, and then he'll apply heal block. He's not that great of a character. I'm going to be honest with you. There's one character on the Sinister Six team you could drop. It would probably be Mysterio. It doesn't help the fact that he's the hardest to farm on the team, as he's a raid store, so you're probably going to always have him the lowest in terms of star rank when compared to the other characters. So Mysterio is always kind of slacking, which is kind of disappointing because I really like Mysterio. I'm a big Mysterio fan. I think he's a really cool villain. Next up we have Vulture. He is a very cool character. I like a lot of the concepts in his kit, and I think his damage isn't that bad. What's really cool is, you know, his basic attack, you know, pretty interesting right here. He's dealing additional damage per negative effect on the enemy. It's kind of like what a Graviton does, except his is kind of worse. Right here, as you can see, he sort of spins through the enemy team and attacks everybody in sort of a line. and he'll apply slow, and if they're city heroes, he applies offense down. So this is a common theme in the Sinister Six kits. You're going to see they do one thing, but if there's a city hero, then they're going to do a little bit of a bonus effect on top of that. And his ultimate's pretty good too. He deals a hefty amount of damage, and he reduces the speed bar on the enemy team by a decent percentage. And what's kind of cool is his passive right here. He gets to go faster for each city hero he's going against. So again, you're seeing a little bit of counter synergy against city heroes. But what's cool is when an enemy dies, he gets to fill up his speed bar. So it's sort of like, take Black Panther's passive, but weaken it, but then throw in a bunch of other things. Like, for example, he also gets plus 5% block chance for each city hero enemy. So he's not bad. I'd say Vulture is one of the more, he's very average. Like, I don't think he's like mind-blowingly good, but I don't think he's that bad of a character. I just think he's okay. He gets some stuff done. Rhino, I actually think is a pretty capable tank. Kind of weird, his passive right here. This is sort of his gimmick. This is Rhino's big thing. Well, it would be a big thing if this was a problem in the game. But on blind, he fills his speed bar by 50%, and then on blind, clear one negative effect from self and each ally. So this is kind of interesting because he counters blinds. If he gets blinded, he'll clear it. So if you happen to go against Mordo or somebody like that, Rhino will not stand for that. Kind of weird. I don't really know where this came from to make Rhino blind immune. I don't know why it's not stun immune or something like that. And blind's not even that big of a problem. So it's kind of like, I mean, it's cool if we ever have a mission in the game where it's like, man, I need these guys to stop blinding me. Rhino's who you bring in, but I don't think anyone's ever said that to themselves. But I think Rhino does do pretty well. So his DPS is not bad, solid basic attack, and his special and his ultimate actually deal a pretty good amount of damage too. What's cool is most tanks, when they taunt, they just taunt, that's it. They don't do any damage. Rhino does deal damage. He clears some negative effects, and then he sort of charges through the enemy team whenever he taunts. So that's great. It's a strong attack, and then he also gets to taunt on top of that. And then his ultimate is pretty good too. He'll also charge through the enemy team, and he'll attack the primary target and all adjacent targets for a hefty amount of damage. Plus, he'll deal even more damage per city hero enemy. So I think Rhino is actually probably one of the best characters on the Sinister Six team. He's just, I think he's tanky. He takes a lot of damage, but on top of that, I think he can actually dish out a hefty amount of damage considering he is a tank. And he has a pretty interesting passive. It's always something to keep in mind. One day there's gonna be a blind meta, and Rhino, that'll be his day to shine. And then finally we have Green Goblin. Now Green Goblin's sort of the odd guy out because he came out before the rest of them. He released around the Spider-Verse movie with Miles Morales, and that time he was sort of put in the game as a counter to the SHIELD team, which was really good at the time. And on top of that, he had a different team he was meant to be on. He was meant to be with Spider-Man, Miles, Venom, Carnage, and him. I believe that was the team. It was like this really mishmash of Spider-Verse characters. As they've added more Spider-Verse characters, they've sort of put them onto their own teams. As we can see now, Green Goblin goes on the Sinister Six team, but he is capable of working with the Spider-Verse team. Because he was originally designed for that, and with that he is a little different from the rest of the Sinister Six team. You'll see right here with his passive, everyone else focuses on city heroes, but right here he focuses on SHIELD. Now this isn't that crazy of an effect, but it's something to note. He does counter SHIELD characters as opposed to city hero characters like everyone else does. So for his passive, if it's a Spider-Verse ally's turn, he removes one positive effect from an enemy. So it's nice, good passive right there. And once you upgrade it a little bit, he can actually remove one positive effect from two enemies. What's also kind of nice is on spawn, he applies defense down to the enemy with the most resistance. Plus, if that happens to be a SHIELD character, that defense down will last for 2 turns, and it can't be resisted. Plus, he gets 10% max health. So, that's cool. I don't get why they put this bonus in here. Why not just roll that into their stats? I'll never get that. Maybe it's just so it makes it passive more. Maybe they didn't think his passive was exciting enough, so they had to throw in a little something extra there. If we look at his basic attack, not that bad. Unfortunately, very low chance of it chaining to adjacent targets, or he'll attack the adjacent targets. It doesn't chain, but he has a chance to actually decide, oh, I want to attack one of the adjacent targets. But if he does, that makes this basic attack very good. It's very normal, run of the mill, just with the basic 250% damage damage, but if you happen to attack more enemies, then we're talking about a pretty good basic attack right there. His special, not bad, kind of like Rhino, very specific use for this, but not something I commonly have a problem with. I'm like, man, what do I do about this stealth? Like, generally, if stealth's a problem, the whole team's stealthed, and that's my problem, is because Hand Sentry stealth them all. It's never like one character stealth. I gotta get this one character out of stealth. The one character stealth, so I'm like, I'm just gonna hit somebody else. But he'll attack a random target with stealth for a good amount of damage, and if no one has stealth, he'll just attack whoever you target, and he'll deal 50% additional damage per positive effect on the target. So very good special right there. Just kind of weird, that whole stealth thing, because again, I've never been too bothered by one specific person with stealth. And his ultimate, I'm pretty good here. He deals a hefty amount of damage, plus then he'll randomly attack some more targets for a good amount more of damage. So all in all, I'd say Green Goblin, not too bad himself. Also, really nice that he can synergize pretty well with other Spider-Verse characters. So if you're first starting, you can sort of build a mishmash Spider-Verse team with Sinister Six and Spider-Man characters. But we'll hop into Blitz with them, show you how they work. Hopefully we can go against the Defenders team. Again, Sinister Six, they're not the best team in the game. You know, and as you might notice, there is not 6 of them, as the name would imply. So some people are saying we could get Dr. Octopus as a legendary character one day, and his pass would be he summons in whatever. So they have these base 5, they add in Dr. Octopus, and now we have 6 Sinister Six members. They're saying you put Dr. Octopus on the team, whenever you go into battle, he'll summon the one member you don't have on your team from your roster to help you fight. And people aren't really concerned about that because the Sinister Six are just not that good that people wouldn't even mind going into 6v5s against the Sinister Six. That just gives you an idea of their perspective. Perfect. Let's see if we can find a more defense. Nope, we're going for this team. All right, this should be a pretty easy win for us. Perfect situation here. A lot of city heroes. We should have a lot of bonus effects and damage coming off on them. That's the problem for the Sinister Six team. Very niche. They do pretty well against defenders or shield, but if you're not doing that, then what's really the purpose of Sinister Six? All right, so let's see here. Let's start out. As we can see, we got some deflects and stuff like that on the team. Really nice. We'll start out with this going straight down the center right here. I do like Vulture's animations. I'm a pretty big fan. I'd say Vulture's my favorite character out of the whole team. Rhino, close second. I forget Shocker and Mysterio exist relatively. I mean, look at Rhino hits hard, man. All right, we're gonna speed this up because I don't have all day. We'll use a special, get some offense up on the team. Iron Fist is gonna heal. It doesn't matter. Now, Merc Lieutenant, kind of awkward right there. We're gonna try to ability block Luke Cage right now. I'd rather him not. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I was hoping he wouldn't taunt, but it looks like we're not going to get a choice. We're going to get Rhino hitting some people here. Look at that. Rhino, honestly, now my Rhino is a little beefier than some of the other, you know, Rhinos I've seen. So that probably helps, but still, I think Rhino does a good amount of damage. I'm going to use a special here. It's not going to deal any bonus damage, but I just want Punisher out of here. He's a little scary, a lot of damage. I'm not liking it. I will use Vulture's ultimate, deal a good amount of damage to the team. Let's try to get, I want Daredevil out of here. All right. See, look, Shocker, he just never does that much for me. Shocker's a little underwhelming. Rhino is going to tank that, but now he is not looking so hot at the moment. Let's try to burst down Daredevil. Let's get Daredevil. We got to be careful how we handle this. All right, Mysterio. Let's apply some heal block. That way Iron Fist cannot heal the team. We can win this. Don't worry. I know you might look at the Sinister Six. You think they're going to lose, but no. Sinister Six, they'll pull through, guys. They'll pull through. All right. Oh, good. Okay, we got Green Goblin's ultimate coming through. Good damage. Good damage. Okay, we win now. It's fine. I was a little scared for a bit. Not going to lie with the Sinister Six. Now that's going to be some hefty damage coming out for them, but it doesn't matter. Now that was nice. Mysterio removing the positive effects from Iron Fist. That was very helpful actually right now. And we might actually get out of this without them dealing or killing any one of us. We'll have to see. I think we might actually. All right. Mysterio just had to die. There's Mysterio's passive. I didn't talk about it because it's not that great. When he dies, he summons some clones of himself. Again, not that great. I mean, look at that. It's like whoopee, good work, Mysterio. But you know that is his passive. Don't get alarmed if you see more Mysterios appear when you kill him. So all things considered, it looks like we didn't lose anybody because the clone of Mysterio is there. So that's sort of Sinister Six for you. They're a very mediocre team, somebody to consider building up if you're new, simply because of their role in the game. There's a lot of things that can unlock for you. Just keep in mind, Sinister Six isn't like that incredible of a team. It's not like yesterday with Supernatural, which is like, yes, this is a good team people are forgetting about. No, Sinister Six is a team people are forgetting about because they're not really that good. But let me know what you think about Sinister Six down below. Because what do I really know? I am only an 18-year-old. With that being said, I hope everyone has a happy and healthy day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Signing off, everyone.